Hi, and welcome to the Commissioner's Report. I'm your host, Jeff Foley, and I'm joined today by Commissioner Bill Braswell and Yasir Mercado, who's a consultant with the Florida Department of Transportation. Welcome, folks.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, Thank you for being here. Commissioner, let's kick things right off. Tell us what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, so there's a major road closure coming, and this goes all the way back to Hurricane Irma. As a county, we do a lot to try to get the information out. You know, when something big happens, you know, we send it to the news, we put it on the internet. And what I found out then was nobody gets their news from the same source. And it's hard to get your message out to the general public. And so this is kind of a big topic, it's important. And it's a subject I just want to kind of start beating on to try to get everybody tuned up, because the road's going to close in just a few weeks, right?
Absolutely.
And it's going to impact a lot of people. It's going to be a major detour, but the end result is really good. So that's the purpose. And I've asked them here to explain the closure, and it's just part of let's just repeat this as much as we can and let as many people know about it as we can.
So Yasir, let's put it in a nutshell before we kind of peel it back. Give me the elevator speech of what's happening.
The elevator speech. Well, what we have is we are going to be closing the westbound Polk Parkway exit ramp to Winter Lake Road, which is State Road 540, exit 14, for 18 months.
And who is that going to affect and how?
That will affect any drivers who are looking to travel westbound on Polk Parkway and exit onto Winter Lake Road, either traveling west or traveling east.
And is that a lot of folks for people that don't know that area?
It's a considerable amount of people. However, what we did find is that our detour route is going to actually get over 90% of the drivers where they actually want to go to.
And how do you guys come to a decision to do something like that? How does that happen? To
do something like this, well, normally, the department does, like to advocate for the communities, and they, like to task us with ways to accelerate projects, deliver our projects to the communities and to the, travelers and the residents of the state of Florida quicker. If we can impact people less, that is really the goal. It's to get these jobs done quicker, get them open, and be able to have all of our residents, all of our state visitors, or even our freight companies kind of moving. And that's what's important here. We actually found a way that by being able to close this ramp for these 18 months, we're actually going to accelerate completion of the Central Polk Parkway 2 years ahead of schedule. And that's pretty significant, because that's about a third of our scheduled construction time.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. And they came to the commission a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And said, we can do this, if you want us to. And it was like, we can inconvenience a few people for a long time, but to accelerate something 2 years, that's crazy good. I mean, that road is going to be so important in the near future, and to move it up 2 years, it's just a really good deal for the county.
Absolutely.
So this is probably the best possible way that you could deliver the news, that there's a closure with some good news attached to it.
We like to put bows on, on our messages.
This is truly a good news, bad news story, yeah.
I mean, it is, but the good thing is that our detour route is only going to add about 5 minutes. So in the scheme of things, yes, it's a detour, yes, it's 18 months, but it's about 5 minutes.
And how
or
will
so they say.
Yeah.
What is the detour? What will people need to do? Okay,
so instead of exiting west on exit 14, you're going to exit west on exit 17, which is US 92. So you're going to take US 92, you're going to go east onto Ricker Highway, then you're going to do southeast to Sand Lake or Spring.
No, Spirit Lake Road.
Spirit Lake Road, yes. Yeah. And then you're going to take Winter Lake Road.
So for 18 months, folks will no longer be able to exit off exit 14.
In the westbound direction.
In the westbound direction.
Yes.
And what would they typically be accessing from there? Do we know where they'd be going if they're getting off that exit? About
90% of people who use that exit during the rush hours, what we looked at, are going to be going east onto Winter Lake Road. So they're traveling east. They're not really in that interchange. They're just either going down to US 17, State Road 35 area, or they're going just far out west, far out east onto Winter Lake Road.
They're going where the new parkway is going to take them perfect. I mean, they're headed toward the Bartow Airport,
yes,
that general area. And the new road will be an expressway, no stoplights, no stops, no slowdowns, just straight there. And that's why it seems like such a good thing to accelerate it, because I think the number was a couple of hundred per hour. Cars,
220 per hour.
Yeah, per hour.
Use that exit ramp during rush hour.
Yeah, and so, and it's certainly going to load up 92. It's going to load up 92 from the existing parkway to Wrecker Highway, And what is going to complicate it is there's a train track right as you turn on the Record Highway, and when the train goes through, it's not good. And those people are really going to be, getting antsy or whatever, but there's just nothing you can do about that. But again, it's just accelerating the construction of this road is a great deal.
And we are also working with the local FDOT district. They're going to be monitoring traffic. They've already, put in some designs of what it will look like. And they are ready to implement some changes either to the detour if we need to, or signal timing to make sure that we can move traffic through if there is a slowdown.
So this is obviously not something that's done willy-nilly. There's some science behind it.
Yeah. There's a lot of planning.
A lot of people involved in it. And another thing, those two, a lot of people look up on the red light arms and they see what they think are cameras, but they're actually motion sensors. There's not that many live feed cameras that go to our DOT or our county's traffic control, but I believe both of those red lights there at Berkeley Road and Record Highway have cameras. So 24 hours a day, they can look and go, oh wow, it's really backing up.
Yes.
And they can control the lights and work the traffic through better. So yeah, it's going to be inconvenient, but the technology, the plan is good. It's going to let people get where they want to get, and like you said, just 5 minutes longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do also want to share, Florida's Turnpike Enterprise and the Department of Transportation, we've really been invested in Polk County, since even before we broke ground on Polk Parkway back in 1996, even way before I was even down here in Florida, and we want to continue that, and that's what we're hoping to do with the Central Polk Parkway. We're going to bring this road here to move for mobility. We want to move people. We don't want all this freight to be stopping in and taking all these local roads, because if you've driven around, some of the local roads are getting pretty beat up with the trucks.
You don't have to tell anybody in this county
with
that.
The trucks
Everybody knows.
Passing by, and the hope is that they're going to go take the new highway because they don't have to worry about stopping at lights and intersections, and they're going to go straight through and relieve some of the congestion in Polk County and kind of move them where they need to go.
And I think when this road, both sections are completed, Highway 98 between Bartow and Lakeland is going to see a big drop in truck traffic, because if you're a trucker and you're going from 27 to Tampa, this road is going to make life really easy for you. You can bypass Bartow, you can bypass 98 and all the traffic and South Lakeland, or to get to the Parkway. I mean, it's a big deal, and it's going to be a big help.
So this closure, while it's an inconvenience, will get us to a better place more quickly than we would have before.
2 years faster of a road that we really need.
And hopefully help the residents get their roads back a little bit. Yasir, when does this happen?
Okay, so we're going to implement the closure at 11 p.m. on Thursday, March 28th. So as of 11 p.m. March 28th, the exit will be closed and we will be using the new detour. And
will the detour be clear for people? So there's some folks in this world, like myself, that can't find a way out of a paper bag. Will it be easy for people to understand where they need to go?
Yes, we are using the overhead message boards along I-4 and Polk Parkway. We have the portable message boards, those are the ones that you see lit up on the side of the road. We have the actual detour route signs, those regular orange signs with arrows that says detour here. Throughout the entire corridor, we're going to be distributing a construction alert within the next few days that's going to have a map and the detour. We are putting it into Waze, we're putting it into Google, we're putting it into Apple Maps. So depending on what you use, you'll have a detour regardless. We are going to be putting an ad in the local newspaper for people who don't use social media.
That's where they get their news. That's where they get their news.
Absolutely.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah, so we're going to have that information also in the newspaper. We are also going to be placing additional, message boards just so everyone knows, new traffic pattern, new, closure, exit here, and doing everything we can to get the word out. As well, actually, our social media too. We're going to put that up on our social media, on our website. We have a webpage for the project. It'll be on there as well, and just push it to as many people as we can.
And we'll try that, and still hardly anybody will hear about it.
No.
But again, that's the point. But she was saying before we started this, something I just learned. Waze. I can't. So we've had this discussion already. When there's a wreck on 4, Google Maps says, everybody go this way. Mm-hmm. Well, that causes this big traffic jam over this way. But Waze actually filter, or meters, or what would you call it?
Yeah, they do. What they do is they look at all the routes, and then these are the available routes. If there are available routes, sometimes there is only one available route. Yeah. But if there are routes available, they will filter drivers to different areas. So that way they don't bombard
go to
one
one place.
route
Yeah.
with all the traffic, and they'll split, they'll put you through all kinds of places.
So the congestion gets split
Right,
up.
yeah.
So we're running a little tight on time.
Yep.
Just to be clear though, let's one more time go through what change is coming, how it'll affect people, and what the benefit is to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So beginning at 11 p.m. on Thursday, March 28th, we are closing the westbound Polk Parkway exit ramp to Winter Lake Road, State Road 540, and that is exit 14. We're going to have our travelers exit on exit 17, US 92. They're going to travel east to Wrecker Highway. Then they're going to go to Spring Lake, to Spirit Lake. I'm so sorry about that, Spirit Lake. And then down to Winter Lake Road. And again, that is going to create the opportunity for us to complete the project 2 years ahead of schedule, which we're currently looking at late 2029. So now we're looking at late 2027. So that's a big change.
And the closure is going to be for 18 months.
Yes, 18 months.
It's not a week or two.
Yes.
So folks, 18 months of pain, but 2 years in advance will get some of our roads back a little bit. So be patient when you're out there driving. I'm your host, Jeff Foley. This is the Commissioner's Report. Please check us out next time. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to subscribe and like our social media.